Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. You're very welcome to the Madrasatul Mumtiaz free Nahw and Sarf online class, and this is class 103 of our Nahw. And inshallah, today we are starting with the first topic of our Nahw Wadih book 3. So, during our last lesson, we completed the book 2 of the Nahw Wadih series, and now we are starting with our book 3 inshallah tonight, and our topic is al-mubtada'u wal-khabaru wa tatabukuhuma. Al-mubtada' wal-khabar wa tatabukuhuma, which is the subject, the predicate, and their equivalences. So we have treated al-mubtada' wal-khabar previously, and so for those that have not watched it at all, that have not seen the previous classes, you can look at the link in the comment box so that you can catch up with that before joining today's lesson. So today we are focusing on al-mubtada wal khabar wa tatabukuhuma, and when we say tatabukuhuma, we are talking about their equivalences. That if we have in a sentence al-mubtada and a khabar, what are those things that have to match between them? So, and that's the focus for today, for today's lesson, inshallah. So let's look at the qaida where this is explained to us. So the first qaida tells us that al-khabaru yutabiqu al-mubtada fil ifrad wa tathniya wal jam'i wa tadhkir wa ta'nif. So we are told that the khabar it follows the mubtada. The khabar follows the mubtada. The khabar, which is the predicate, it follows the subject of the sentence, which is the mubtada, fil ifrad, in singular, which means that if our mubtada is singular, then our khabar must also be singular. What tathniyati, which is if the mubtada is a dual word, then our khabar should also be dual. Wal jam'i, if the mubtada is plural, then the khabar should also be plural. What tadhkir, and if the mubtada is masculine, while the khabar must also be masculine. What ta'nif, if the mubtada is feminine, then the khabar should also be feminine. So basically, we can summarize this by saying that the khabar must follow the mubtada when it comes to the numbers, which is singular versus dual versus plural, and must also follow it in gender, which is the tadhkir wa ta'nif. So we are going to look at our examples and we see how they follow each other. So we look at the first example. An-nimru shirsun. An-nimru shirsun. The leopard is scary, or it is violent. So what we can see, if we remember well, is that our mubtada it has to be ma'rifa, and that's why we can see our mubtada, they are all having alif and lam of ta'rif, which shows that they are ma'rifa. Although we've also treated the ma'arif sabon, so some things might also be ma'rifa, and it's not only the alif and lam. But for these examples, we can see that all our mubtada, they all have alif and lam of ta'rif, and then the khabar would be nakra. So we can see an-nimru, the leopard, is ma'rifa, which means it's definite, while shirsun is indefinite, it is violent. So we can see that it also follows, because an-nimru is masculine, our shirsun is also masculine. An-nimru is singular, our shirsun is also singular. Second, al-kalbu alifun, the dog is friendly. So we have the same situation: masculine mubtada, masculine khabar, singular mubtada, singular khabar. And the last one, an-najmu lami'u, the star is bright, or the star is shining. So we can see that these are all singular masculine mubtada, and their khabars are also singular masculine. So the second set of examples, we have feminine singular mubtada, and they're also followed by feminine singular khabar. Like al-battatu sabihatun, the duck is swimming. The duck is swimming. So Zainabu muti'atun. So like I said, it's not only the alif and lam ta'rif that shows that something is ma'rifa. So one of those things that shows that something is ma'rifa is an alam, which is somebody's name, and that's why we see that our mubtada here is Zainab, which is somebody's name. So Zainabu muti'atun. Zainab is obedient. So Al-Madinatu amiratun. The city is lively, or the city is thriving. So basically, so we can see that all of these, they follow when the mubtada is feminine, the khabar must also be feminine. And when the mubtada is singular, we also see that the khabar are singular. Then the third set of examples, we have at-tilmidhan hadiran. The two students are present. The two students are, they are both present. So we can see that at-tilmidhan is dual, and hadiran is also dual, and at-tilmidhan is masculine, and hadiran is also masculine. Same thing for the other two examples there. Al-kitabani jadidani. The two books are new. Or al-khafiron sahiron. The al-khafiron sahiron. The two guards, the two security people, sahiron, are vigilant. So the two guards are vigilant. So these are feminine and dual. Al-bintan mujtahidatan. The two girls are they are active, or they are diligent. Al-hadiqatan muthmiratan. The two gardens are bearing fruit. They're muthmira, so they bear fruit. Al-hujratani wasi'atan. The two rocks are wide. The two rooms are wide. Al-hujratani wasi'atan. The two rooms are wide. So those are the dual. You can see that the mubtada are feminine. You can see that they are masculine, jamu, and the khabar is also masculine and jamu. The pious people, or those that perfect their deeds, are what they are praised. At-talamidu adhkiya'u. The students are smart. So we can see that our mubtada is jamu and mudhakkar, and our khabar is also jamu and mudhakkar. Al-kusala mu'aqabun. The lazy people, mu'aqabun, are punished. So the lazy are punished. So so we can also see that is the mubtada is jamu, and the khabar is also jamu. So now the sixth set of examples, this is where our second here only applies to those last sets where we have jamu al-muannath. So we said that, so we are told that إذا كان المبتدأ جمعا لغير عاقل يجوز الإخبار عنه بالجمع وبالمفرد المؤنث. So we are told that if the mubtada is jamu, if the mubtada is in plural form, لغير عاقل, for a non-living thing, yajuzul ikhbar, it is allowed for us to put a khabar to it, anhu bil jam'i wa bil mufrad al muannath. That means our khabar can either be jamu, or it can be mufrad, it can be plural or singular. Whenever our mubtada, even though it is in a jamu form, is for a non-living thing, is the jamu of a non-living thing, then in that case we are free to actually use either or mufrad for the khabar. So let's look at the examples there. So we have as-sayyidat muhadhabat. As-sayyidat muhadhabat. The women leaders are civilized. So this is a jamu muannath, and because the khabar is muannath, the mubtada is muannath, so the khabar is also muannath. The mubtada is jamu, the khabar is also jamu. But this is a living thing, so say we're talking about human beings, and so in this case we have to use our jamu, our khabar has to be jamu also. However, if we look at the next example, we see ash-shajarat muriqat aw muriqah, muriqat or muriqah. Also ash-shajarat, the trees, muriqat, they are bearing fruit. So we can say muriqat with jamu muannath, and or what, muriqah with mufradul muannath, just like our principal has told us that whenever we have a non-living thing and it is in a jamu form, we have the freedom of either using the jamu of muannath or mudhakkar, or sorry, the jamu of muannath or the singular of muannath. So let's look at our last example. Al-kusuru aliyatun aw aliyat. The palaces are tall or they are high. So we can say aliyatun with a singular muannath, or aliyat with a plural muannath. And if we look at al-kusur, if we look at the singular of al-kusur is al-qasru, and we can see that that word is a masculine word. But because it is a non-living thing, when it is in a German form with when we have al-kusur, which is a type of German teksir, so this would usually be in German teksir. So when we see al-kusur and it is a German teksir, and what we see does not have life, it is ghayr akil, then we are free to either use German muannath for it, or we use mufradun muannath for it. That is the plural feminine khabar, that's the plural feminine adjective, or the singular feminine adjective. So in this case we have the total freedom to do so when it is ghayr akil. And as you can see, palaces don't have a brain, they are non-living things. So in that case, al-kusuru, we can say aliyah or aliyat. Just the same, we can say ash-shajarat, muriqat or muriqah. So mubtada is singular, the khabar must be singular. If the mubtada is dual, the khabar must be dual. If the mubtada is plural, the khabar must also be in plural form. However, we have an exception, that when we have a jamu ghayr akil, then in that case we have the freedom. It is already jamu, so naturally we are supposed to use jamu muannath for the khabar. However, we have the freedom of using either jamu muannath or mufradul muannath. So that brings us to the end of this topic on al-mubtada'u wal-khabaru wa tatawabukuhuma. We pray that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala helps the students to understand it better than I have explained. Subhanakallahumma bihamdik wa nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant wa nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.